Good morning. Good morning, coffee. Thank you. Coffee is necessary. So, I have flowers. I'll show you one. Here's one. Look at that pretty little flower. It's a pretty one. I can show you from the side. We have a smaller one. A smaller one. And we have two. We also have tiny little buds. Oh, look how cute. Cute, cute. Oops. Cute. Three little fellas right here. Tiny, see, tiny buds. To say, I really love these a lot. They make me happy. Okay, so what I want to show you today is just how you can create sort of a cup with your wafer paper, because it is really tricky to do. Just the nature of wafer paper. Let me see if I can find a good example. You can see the cupping. The cupping back here. I'm trying to show you. Sort of like that. Sort of like this cupping and a little frill. There's a little frill going on too. So you can tell right there. This is a good example of the cupping. So there's a really easy way to do it that I'm going to show you. What you do then is place these around your flower, your center, which, by the way, this center is just a styrofoam ball that you would cover with your wafer paper, just using water, and what it'll give you is something for these petals to attach to, like so. And what you'll need, I don't know, these are pretty basic and pretty inexpensive, but they are little petal formers, and I have one that has sort of a larger cup and one that's a little flatter. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can tell. So larger petals are going to get this more shallow one, and the smaller petals this. And for these flowers, I used a 2-inch. Used a 2-inch paper punch and a 2.5-inch. Okay, and I also used a 3-inch, but I'm just going to be showing you these two today. I can't stand a messy workspace, and yet I always get there. My intentions are always good. So here are some that I have made already, and these are the 2.5-inch. It's the 2.5-inch. Basically, you're just going to take scraps of paper. These are just scraps I have on hand. Of course, they're still, in good shape, so I'm going to use them. And I should mention this wafer paper I use is actually a little on the thicker side. They do have differences. Some of them are thinner, and they all have a purpose. For this one, I want sturdy petals and ones that don't curl too much. So that's why I'm using this one, this thicker paper. And I'm going to make some 2-inch circles so I can show you guys those two. Make 6. One, you do it upside down, you actually use less paper. You can take it right to the edge. Less waste. So I actually got 7 out of a half sheet. So I'm going to show you 6 because that's all I need. But it's pretty good. I'm going to screw up somewhere. So I'm going to start with the 2-inch, and I'm using the smaller cup. It's a smaller one. I have vodka spray because I like the spray. It controls, it just distributes enough vodka to work with it. Not too much that it's going to curl up on you and be impossible to work with. So you don't need to prepare this at all. It's just plain old former vodka. I'm going to spray like once on one side, twice maybe on another side. Then I'm going to put it in my cup. Here's the tricky part. This gets tricky. You just have to work it slowly into the cup. As you're doing so, it's going to create these little, what do you call it, frills on the edges. And all the while, it's drying slowly but surely. And by the time it's finished, if you have it gathering at the bottom, I'm just going to press it. Pressed. And the rest just kind of does itself. It's like magic. It's magic. Look at that little fella. And I'm pushing down into the center again, pushing into the center, doing the cupping. Your thumbs are the best tool for this. I kind of feel like hands are the best tool. Not for everything, but they work pretty well. Hands, fingers, whatever. And then this is just releasing quite easily. And there I have, oh, it's so pretty. Look at these little, oh, look at that. It's so different. I won't have another petal on my flower exactly like this, and that's exactly how I like it. That's how I like it. I'm going to use a larger former for the larger circles. And again, I'm going to spray. These I'm spraying like 1, 2, 3. And I put them with the smooth side up. And then here we go again. And I'm just pressing and pressing. Right here we have a pretty curl right there. A couple actually. And I'm just going to press down toward the center and flatten it. And flat there. Make sure it's cupped in the center. And press down. So this is what you have. This is what mine looks like. This down here, where it's sort of buckling, that's gonna where I attach the flower to my center. So you won't really see it. And then at the top, you'll notice we have some little frills. How pretty is that, right? And then it'll dry slightly, and when it does, just pull it off. And this is sticking a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not too worried. I'm gonna, maybe a little worried. I'm pulling it off, rather. Pull. And then I'm just gonna make sure I like it. Now just keep it nicely. Again, another super pretty cupped petal. Isn't pretty? Look at pretty. If you did want to curl your edge and it's still damp enough, just take your brush, curl it around the edge just a little bit. Just a little. And the magic of wafer paper, it stays. It stays, and now you have a little curl on your edge. Do one side, both sides, or you don't have to do any at all. This is your flower. I did put a little something out there recently on how I make my wafer paper leaves. These are to go with my pretty wafer paper roses. And so check out, that's another tutorial on my Instagram. You can find that. Show you exactly how to make these pretty petals. So here you go. I may show in another tutorial. Oh, I hate to do that. I hate to be suspenseful. But I don't have time right now. But we'll probably put something together where I will actually create a flower using these pretty petals. And there is kind of a couple of tricks for getting a really pretty center. There's the center one. Here's another center. Pretty. All right. That's it. These are my petals. Get enough of them going. You can make a flower. And we all love flowers, don't we? Okay, so see you later. Bye. Bye. Here is my center. Here's all my stuff. Got all my stuff. So I'm going to get busy assembling. Again, this is my 18 gauge wire with a 1 1/4 inch styrofoam ball on the end that I have hot glued and then wrapped this ball in wafer paper. And that will allow the petals to stick to something, because it'll want to stick to the wafer paper. So that's what we're starting with. My head on a stick that I'm going to turn into a pretty flower. I have a few for my center. For the center of the flower, that gets its own little special treatment. So these are 2 inch circles. And what I'm going to do is curl the edges so that to try to encourage this to fold in on itself, so we get a nice center. And you just want this is just a paintbrush. I'm going to wrap it around the end of this paintbrush. You're just going to wrap toward the center. One side, and then the other side, forming like a tip. You can see that. Once you've done it, it's going to stay. It's going to want to go that way. It's going to make your life a lot easier when it comes to making that center. So I'm going to do it to a few of these. Always make a couple extra, because there's always, invariably, there's always 1 or 2 that I like more than the others. So we're doing it again. One side and the other side. Coming to that point. Let you see that a little better. You're coming to a point, leave it there for a few seconds. It's going to stay. This is the 4th and final one I'm doing. If I haven't gotten it down by now, then it's not going to happen today anyway. So what I'm going to do is use my vodka in here in a flat paintbrush. And I just want to put it on the lower half of this, and then I'm going to wrap it. Let me make sure you can see this. Wrap it. The idea here is for it to sort of line up with your stem, so it's nice and straight. And this one is not wanting to stick, so guess what? More vodka. Round 2. Another round for everyone. 1001, 1002. 1003, 1004, 1005. All right, it's sticking now. And this is what we have. It's kind of lined up. I'm going to do it so that you can see. It's pretty straight. Yeah, pretty straight. So we're going to build off of this center. And That's next. So grab another one of your petals that you've curled. The idea is to just tuck it in there. Tuck it in there next to this other one. This is probably the most challenging part right here. This will try your patience, because you want it to be just right. The center is super important. I'm kind of liking this, the way it's looking in there. So I'm actually just going to attach it where it's positioned, where I have it positioned, where I like it. And then worry about sticking it on, as opposed to applying the vodka first and then fiddling with it. I'd rather not. One more in here. So I'm using 3. And again, tucking it in there and creating that pretty spiral. Oh, that looks super nice. So that's where I like it. And so that is where I'm going to stick it. Attach it to my ball. There. Now I will mention, this is pretty important. I will mention, you want to leave this open. I'm just going to leave a piece open on the one side, because that's where you will tuck your next petal. Tuck it in there. But for the purpose of this center, the previous one, I'm going to attach so it stays nice and tight. This may be hard to follow. You know what, you guys? It's hard to explain. Really, you just kind of have to do it. And you will find better ways than I'm even showing you. Ways that work better for you to do these things. More power to you. This works for me, but that's not to say you don't have a better way of doing it. You probably do. And if you do, please share it with me, because I'm always wanting to learn. This is working for me. I'm liking the way it looks in the center. Everything is attached. Everything's attached nicely. And I have this, and that's where I'm going to start attaching my 2-inch petals that I've made. So that's what it looks like. And from the side, this is what it's looking like. Pretty straight, up and down. It's a good start. It's a good start. Well, it's no longer a head on a stick. So here we go. What we're going to do is make a flower. Make a pretty rose. We're going to start with our 2-inch petals. These are all of my 2-inch petals. There are 15 of them, I think. And my vodka. I'm going to use the vodka. This one I'm kind of liking like this. Tuck it in there. See how I like it. And I like it. Now I'm going to apply vodka just to this portion. Like the bottom portion. Okay, I'm going to tuck it in and press. Press. I'll make sure it's attached nicely. And it is. While I'm at it, I'm going to attach the previous petal where I want it to stay. My next one, let's pick one. I think I like this guy. So he's going next. Going next. So, you know what? He's not going next. You know why? Because I need one that's a little more cupped, since it's closer to the center. And I'm going to position him just how I like him, because it's my flower, and I can do as I like. And do I like that? I do. So I'm going to attach, putting a little on the ball and a little on my paper. Again, leaving an opening, leaving this opening right here to put the next petal. And then this guy before him, the petal before him, I'm going to attach him. Or her. Okay, I'm going to put this one in because I like that one, like so. And then I'm going to attach the previous one to the one I just put on. Make sure it's sticking. This guy, he's just become a pain in the ass. Okay, this is looking pretty. I'm liking it from the side. It looks kind of funny from the side right now, but I promise that'll get better. And this is the point at which I lose my audio. I don't know where it went. Poof, gone. So I'll be doing the remainder of this tutorial with voiceover, trying to explain what I'm doing. And right now I am attaching more of the 2-inch petals the same way I was attaching previously. I think I had 15 of the 2-inch petals.
while you're doing this, make sure to just look at your flower from all angles. See it, make sure those petals are level at the top, that it's maintaining its shape the way you like it. Make sure your petals are attaching well. And at this point, I have sprayed my flower, like 4 sprays, the vodka spray bottle. And I just want the petals to sort of come together, maybe attach a little bit to one another. It will help it stay strong. One big happy family. So I'm going to give it about 15 minutes to dry. I think I went to get some ice cream at this point and let my flower do its thing all by itself. I think I ended up letting it dry for about 30 minutes. It can go longer if you like. I would just give it at least 15 minutes though. So it's nice and solid. And now I am moving on to the 2.5 inch petals. These will attach at the base of the ball. So you'll want to apply your vodka at the bottom of the ball and at the bottom of the flower, sort of the bottom quarter, like left quarter section of the petal. Then slide it in like you did the smaller petal, same thing, but this will connect at the base. And on and on. I believe I ended up using, I think, 12 of the 2.5 inch petals. The last several petals, I would say maybe the last 5 petals, I attached upside down. I just held the flower upside down. I wasn't as concerned about the top. Just wanted to attach them at the base, and that's kind of a nice way to let it do what it wants to do and give kind of a natural look to it. And it's a lot easier to do, I might mention. Just apply your vodka at the base and leave your flower, hold it upside down, and press it on. One thing I am doing here is also looking at my flower over my head so I can see how those petals are falling when it's upside down. And if I like the way it looks, then I'll attach it that way. In looking at my flower, I just wasn't entirely satisfied with the shape of it, so I ended up making a few more petals, which, as you know, they're very easy to form. And so I could, I wasn't really happy with the shape, so adding a few more here or there until I was satisfied. Just attaching them at the bottom, just like all of the others, and continuing to look at it from all angles, seeing where it might need another petal, and in fact, it needed one or two more to make it just right. Now I'm just attaching the final petals, and I'll give it one more spray and hang this flower up to dry. Here it is, all dry, finished, and just as I like it. Super frilly and beautiful. I love it. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And like and subscribe and all of that jazz. List of supplies are also below, as well as links to the wafer paper and the petal formers. That's all the time you get. Both wafer paper and sugar. That's it. This one isn't going to work for me. I just don't like it. This one is a keeper.